What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Ticker Fee video and welcome to the Ticker Fee family. So as you can see, the ticker symbol we're going to be talking about today is AABB, or Asia Broadband. And so what we're going to be talking about and what I'm going to be informing you on is the advancing of the gold mine property purchase negotiation with mapping and rock sampling results, how Asia Broadband has the letter of intent acquiring the high-grade gold mine property in Mexico, and then we'll finish this video off with a chart analysis and a price prediction. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, Asia Broadband advances gold mine property purchase negotiations with mapping and rock sampling assay results. So there's a few things I highlighted, and so I want to inform you on this information. So it received the mapping and rock sample assay resulting during the ongoing due diligence process regarding the letter of intent to acquire a historic production gold mine property on-site processing facilities in the prolific mining region in Mexico. Now, the 200 hectare, which by the way, here we say acres, in other parts of the country they say hectares. So if you ever see that, or if you've ever heard of that, that's what that is. Now, they have an average elevation of 2,600 meters below or above sea level. The Los Reyes project has two mine sites, existing infrastructure, and a 50-ton per day processing facility operating on 25 hectares of the property. AABB has been strategically operating on 25 acres, strategically broadening its initiative to acquire gold production and high potential gold properties to increase the company's physical gold holdings. So, again, this is to inform you and add extra value. That way you can make the decisions, and that's why I'm bringing this up. So let's finish this. So per the geological report, non-targeted rock samples were randomly collected throughout the property at the beginning of the due diligence procedures, and some of the most significant gold values assayed were 2.5 grams per ton. Now, it is highly encouraging by the viability of these general results that also strongly indicate that the targeted drilling samples directed by geophysics data and had significantly higher gold values and concentrations. Now, in the coming weeks, AABB will be conducting further due diligence and continuing its negotiations to acquire Los Reyes project that has an estimated $30 million asset value, which again, I'm good with that. It is not a liability. This is all assets. So I am, again, really good with that. And that's a great catalyst that we'll be able to see on the chart closer to the end of this video. Now, let's check out the letter of intent acquired by the high-grade gold mine property in Mexico. So as you can see, what I'm informing you is showing proof of transparency with Asia Broadband. Clearly, it's given me confidence because they're buying all these assets, not liabilities. So that's something that you want to always keep in mind when you're looking at these stocks. So Asia Broadband signs letter of intent to acquire the high-grade gold mine property in another part of Mexico. Now, this is a historic production multiple mine property in the prolific mining region of this area of Mexico. This high-grade acquisition target that is located approximately not too far from the city has two mine sites, existing infrastructure, and a 200-ton per day processing facility. So this gold project is another prospective high-yield asset addition to the company's strategic expansion initiative to acquire gold production and increase of the AABB's physical gold holdings. So just like what I mentioned, again, assets versus liabilities, which I do appreciate, and again, it gives me confidence as a shareholder, especially when you own so many shares. You want to know always what's going on. Now, in the incoming weeks, the company will be conducting further due diligence, which I always think that's interesting that they're using this verbiage, because you know in Reddit they use DD all the time. Now, continuing its negotiations to acquire the economical $11 million property. AABB is expecting to confirm the high-grade assay results in the coming weeks of the company's initial due diligence activities on the property. As the mapping and rock sampling program continues, company management is exhilarated with the project of its potential for rapid development, high production, and low operated costs. So I just wanted to inform you this, so when you see the catalyst, just randomly increase, you'll be able to actually know what is actually going on with this stock and not just guessing. Now that you know what's going on with Asia Broadband with the advancing of the gold mine property purchase, especially with the negotiation and the mapping rock sampling results, but these purchases are a big deal. Now, what I want you to keep in mind when you're looking at the chart, or when you're just looking at the chart in general, there have been a few things that have been affecting the overall chart. So let's actually talk about a few of those things before we actually look at the stock itself. So you've got the financial reports, or the Q1 financial results of last week and this previous week. And so that's going to be the first market manipulation that's going on. So you've got all these stocks that are letting us know what their numbers are, what the statistics are. So you need to know that, and it is pertinent information, but it does affect your stock if you're in or around in that sector itself. Now, the other thing is you've got the retail investors, or the retail taxes. So for all those retail investors last year that have been making such a massive profit, now you actually got to pay the taxes. And so if this is your first time, you might not be used to it, which is understandable, but you'll see that the taxes have come up, and now you might see some of these stocks being dropped due to the sales. So they might be selling these stocks so they can pay for the taxes themselves. Now, the other thing is, which this is one that overall, regardless of what your stock is or how many shares you have, the hedge fund companies themselves, they're under massive pressure on a constant basis. And so they're constantly being in that pressure or stress, right? And so these companies need to make results. They need continued quarter after quarter results in a positive momentum and bringing in that cash for their shareholders. And so keep that in mind of all the manipulations that's been going on, because yes, the stock has been correcting itself, but these are the actual, to my point, key indicators of what's changed in the chart. So when we expand this, we're looking at a high of 0.659. So let's expand the chart itself and look at the candle body. So as you can see, on this day of February the 22nd, we had a high body, which means that it closed higher than what it opened up at. And the wick itself increased in a positive direction. So there was a lot of trade that day. So there was 229,000 of a volume. Now, if you fast forward to where we're at now, looking at the trend line and the support, you can see that again, it's pretty equivalent. And so a lot of people are trying to figure out what's going on with the chart. And so they might not be selling, they might just be holding. And so again, also there's a lot of options that are taking place with a lot of these stocks. Now, we have been in the red for a little while. I mean, for April the 20th, it was in the red, but we did have a green body, which was great on the following day. Now, we closed on the last day, which was Friday, at 0.2195. Now, we opened up at 0.2054. That's why you see it's in the green. Now, the volume was 11 million. So if we check back, when we had that high, we had of 229 million. So that's a drastic change. So that's something, again, that you want to be informed on. And so I just wanted to point that out. Now, for my price prediction, what I'm looking at currently is 0.2195. I think that in Q3 and Q4, once the correction and all this manipulation has kind of leveled out and completely phased out, I'm thinking that you're almost looking at maybe a 0.3 or 0.3267. So we'll have to see what happens in Q3 and Q4. I am excited about all these purchases, especially with the gold mine properties. I mean, this is a smart move, and again, it's an asset. So again, that's something I appreciate as a shareholder. So I hope this was added extra value, and I really do appreciate you tuning in. And with that being just brought to you, I just want to say welcome to the Ticker family.